mister.
Hi.
Antonio Muela, Radio Nacional de España, en directo en Tablero Deportivo. Felicidades por la clasificación.
Congratulations for qualifying for the final. I know that you're a man of belief, but of faith. But I don't know if how you feel in your first Euro and beating Germany at home, and then the French national team with Mbappe. I don't know if you had so much faith in this team as to achieve this. Well, good night, good evening, and thank you for the congratulations. Well, I surely have faith per se, but I have plenty of faith in this team because my players are exemplary. Individually, they are fantastic, but they make the collective benefits of their individual qualities. So I have to keep their faith in this group of players because they always work for the common good, for the collective effort. They are very generous in their efforts, the work rate. This is just one more sign that this is an insatiable team, that they want to keep improving with spirits of sacrifice, and I have faith in them, and I'm proud to be able to direct these players. Congratulations. I wanted to ask you if you know what Morata has, what kind of injury, if he's injured or not, and if the whole of the country is seeing what you have been seeing for many months or even many years. Well, as for Alvaro, we're going to wait until tomorrow. We don't think it's anything, but I think it was during the celebration, of course, and it was something, his leg hurts, but we think he's going to be okay. And as for what you just said about what the whole of the country is seeing it, I think it's something that we can all reflect upon. You know, I accept criticism. I always did accept them. I think I'm a bit of an expert in assimilating criticism, but I want you to know that this may surprise you more than it surprises us, because we knew the possibilities that we had, these raw materials that we had. I know these footballers, and I make my decisions based on how much I know these footballers. It's not out of a whim. You know, you've been asking for this player or this other player when you don't know the history behind each and every one of them. We do know, me and the technical staff, and I know my players can give much more, and they can improve and be even better, and I'm pretty sure that we will. You want to be you want to defend your team, right? The whole time. Football. Do you think that football in the end gives a prize to the most attractive proposal, the most attractive football? Not always, but you need to believe in it. You need to give. You need to make your team play in the way that their team can play, you know. So I know this is a very versatile kind of team with very many different registers, but this is because of the footballers we have. Of course, knowing them, knowing the footballers as we know them so well, that gives us the chance to play them in different ways, have different registers with different footballers who would bring in different things on the pitch. And that's exactly what we try to do. But our idea of football is based on our self-assurance. This is what we want to play. We want to play to our strengths. I think I know that we are able to play great football. We've seen it throughout the tournament.
Congratulations, first of all. I just wanted to ask about... Good evening. Okay. Congrats. I'd like to ask about the boos and whistles that Marc Cucurella was treated to. What do you think about that? What does he think about that? And will that change your reflections on Germany as a host country in any way? Thank you.
No, la verdad es que no sé por qué lo han pitado.
No, I don't know why they booed him, to be honest. I have no idea. But the only thing that they did was to motivate him. He's a great professional, a really mature player, and he knew how to overcome the pressure. And in any case, I'm against any lack of or any disrespect. I know the people who booed him do not represent anyone, Germany or anything. Germany as a host country has been extraordinary. So the people who booed him don't represent sports, football, or Germany as a country. First of all, congratulations. I wanted to ask you that you want your players to finish the plays and shoot on goal. When you saw Lamine's goal, what went through your head when you saw it? Well, we saw a touch of genius from a footballer. We all know who he is. We need to take care of him. And from here, I want to give him some advice. Same way that I do it in private. I would like him to work with the same humility, keep his feet on the ground in order to keep improving, learning with the same kind of attitude and that professionality, that maturity that he shows on the pitch. He looks like a much more experienced player, to be honest, but fundamentally, I celebrate that he's in our team, that he's Spanish, and that we count on him, and I hope we can enjoy him for years to come.
In English, please. Good evening, Pascal Jochum. Maybe you could say a few words about Dani Olmo. He has not been a starter at the beginning of the Euros, but now he has really developed into a key player, scored again for you tonight. So how do you see his development and what has his strength? What can he bring to your team?
Bueno, Dani Olmo, pues un poco...
Well, Dani Olmo, it's a bit like I was saying before. He doesn't surprise me in the slightest. I know him really well, and I know his potential. He only needed time to adapt, to overcome a process, an injury that he had a while back, more than a month ago, but he needed time in order to integrate and he needed to recover the pace and the rhythm that he needed. I can only be grateful for Dani Olmo for how much he brings to us on the pitch. I am fortunate enough to being able to direct 26 geniuses in football. For me, as a coach, and being the one to decide which player I bring, of course, I feel fortunate that they are Spanish. And we are fortunate enough to have a very young national team with a lot of present and with a lot of future. And Dani, of course, is one of our standards these days. What are you most proud of tonight, and what is your credit for this? You always talk about the players and how good they are, but you must have some sort of credit. You must demand some sort of credit for yourself. Well, I've been saying this from the beginning. It's the footballers' credit. They are the ones on the pitch. We need to select them, of course, bring them here. But it's their merit, it's their credit. It's always the footballers. And I prefer it to be like that because they are the ones who make it feel so excited about this, knowing that we're going to live through a unique, maybe not unique, but a very important situation, which is playing a final. So ahead of this game, I must say that I feel so proud of these footballers because of the way we have gotten here, because we have to play some very complicated matches, and I want to want us to get used to the idea of there is no pain, no gain without pain. So suffering in football and in life, it's part of life. If young people are listening to that, they need to know that it's normal. It happens every time. These players are young, but they are ready to suffer, to work, to commit. I'm really proud of the journey to this semi-final. I don't want to claim any sort of credit or anything. I am proud. I am happy to be here, but that's about it. Was it more difficult to play Germany or France? Or do you think you are favorites for the final on Sunday? Well, it's been two totally different opponents with totally different characteristics, and that gives a lot of credit to both victories because we had to play them differently. I think, of course, they were two huge national teams who forced us to play our best. So we are really grateful about that, how demanding these matches were. And we will see how far we can get. But I'm sure the next game is going to be totally different against any of the two. England or the Netherlands are two great teams who will be, who will demand the best from us, and to keep learning and improving from what we've been doing now. Even though it might sound difficult, we are able to, and there is room for improvement.
Was haben Sie nach dem frühen Gegentor gedacht? Gab es noch irgendwas, was Sie Ihrer Mannschaft mitgeben konnten, bevor Sie das Spiel dann gedreht haben?
After you conceded the goal, could you say anything to your team before they turned around the match? Did you say anything?
Siendo honestos, en el campo es casi imposible.
Talking to these guys while on the pitch, it's virtually impossible. The atmosphere, the noise, it's very complicated to talk to them, but before the game, we contemplate every different scenario. So we contemplated that. We had already seen what to do, or thought what to do if we scored or if we conceded a goal. We had to play exactly the same way, exactly with the same attitude, and that helped us turn the game around and keep playing with the same kind of mentality. But obviously, our self-assurance, our self-belief, and our confidence in ourselves that we could overcome any adversity. That was the most important thing for this group of players. Congratulations for the final, for making it to the final. Again, we're talking about 70% of viewers were watching the game from home. Thousands of people in the streets in every region of Spain, cheering on this national team. What do you have to say to these people, to these Spanish fans? And what does it mean for you that in every village and every town in Spain, everybody's supporting the national team? Thank you, and thank you. That's exactly what we need. And I'm really proud that in Spain, our whole country is out there celebrating and cheering the successes of their national team. I'm really proud. And I'm happy because we are generating this hope. We're creating this hope and making people dream. Because these players are an example for every youngster in our country. And of course, apart from the footballing side of things, it's the attitude, the commitment of these players. It's something that it's very difficult to have. So once again, I'm really proud that the whole of our country is out there in the street, united, celebrating our national team's success. Talking about present and future for this national team, I wanted to talk about the past and the present, which is Jesus Navas. The game that he played today, he held on for 58 minutes. What do you have to say about him, a legendary Jesus Navas? Well, Jesus Navas is, like they say in Sevilla, you could eat him alive. He's just an example for football, for his teammates, for the fans. He does everything everything right. His attitude, his generosity, his talent, his quality are all impressive. He's an example, like I said. Yeah, all his teammates look up to him. He's the most veteran team in our team, and he will leave football whenever he wants, because football will never leave him. He knows the doors are open here. He can bring everything. He will always bring something on the pitch, on the bench, in the dressing room, everywhere, and that's really important for a group that is much more than a team. And it is a family. This is something I'm saying from the bottom of my heart.
Claudio Palmieri, freelance sports reporter from Germany. Hello, Mr. De La Fuente. There's been a lot of criticism about the way France used to play defensive football, and also lots of criticism about the way England plays in a secure and defensive way. Would it be in some way a victory for beautiful football or football in general if Spain won the European Championship now?
Nosotros lo que tratamos es de
What we try to do is to have a clear idea and a clear model. We have footballers to play in a very concrete, in a certain way, and make the most out of our footballers. The consequence of having this type of footballer, that could be my credit, selecting them. So when you select players like this, you select players in order to play in a certain way. If I had a different idea, I would probably bring some other players, but with the players we have, and some others who couldn't come for different reasons, but who will be here with us in the future. That's what we want to do. We try to play, every national team plays according to the strengths. France is a great national team, the same as England. But we need to value our behavior and our performance, which has been exceptional up until now. But whatever happens on Sunday, we are always going to be faithful to an idea, to a philosophy, no matter what the result is, because we want to achieve our results, but through a very specific journey, which has, with my players, have been able to carry out so well. Congratulations for your victory. I wanted to ask you about Alvaro Morata. Today, despite not scoring, he played a terrific game. He went everywhere. He was the first defender. So you have always praised him in public. You've always protected him when things were not going his way. What is your opinion of Alvaro Morata in this particular version of him showing so much generosity with his teammates? Alvaro Morata always does that. He's an example. Like as a captain, it's the best captain we could have. We have different teammates who will act as a captain when he's not on the pitch, but they always want him to be there. He's generous, has an exceptional work rate. He plays, he does something that we always need, and he does it fantastically. He's indisputable, and he will be, but he's as important on and as he's off the pitch. They are very good playing football. He will sacrifice for the good of the team, but also inside the intimacy of the dressing room, which is something you obviously don't know, but I do. That's where he shows how big he is as a human being. He's an exceptional human being, and in my opinion, a great footballer. And of course, I would like the people to recognize what he's done for Spanish football, and to recognize him as one of the greats in Spanish football. I think he's still a long way to go for him, and let's hope it's not his final tournament with the national team.
It was exactly a year ago. We were sitting in Netherlands, and you won Nations League. And you were thinking that time that you are cooking something which is going in a year after, be here and be the first finalist of the German Euro. Thank you.
Well, I've been thinking about this from the next day that I was appointed national coach, because I know my footballers really well. I know really well what I could do with them, and I knew that we only needed time in order to put into practice what we've been showing so far. So I'm not surprised. I insist, I know them really well. I know their potential. Unfortunately, we have different chances of playing with different footballers who have been coming and who will come into the team when we deem fit and when they're healthy. But this has been cooking, like you said, from exactly the 1 minute after I was appointed national team. It's a process, it's a long process, but we had in mind what kind of decisions we were going to make. Muchas gracias.
We will continue with the player of the match.